A sergeant in the army had to deal with some heartbreaking experiences in Afghanistan. While there, he met some incredible people, but one bond stood out. That between a cat who the soldier started taking care of and the cat who took care of him in return. What happened next will warm your heart. Jesse Knott did not expect to end up in the military. At age 30, he was working as a software engineer. But one night in 2005, he watched a young Marine on 60 Minutes. The Marine was on a frantic search for a fellow Marine. Tragically, that service member had been killed in action. That's when Knott, with tears streaming down his face, decided he should volunteer to be in the military and do his part. By 2010, Jesse Knott was a military officer who had become a sergeant in the Army. When he was deployed to Afghanistan in 2010, Knott met a feral cat who was hanging around the base. The cat's name was Kashka, and he was extremely adept at keeping the mice at bay. Knott bonded with Kashka, but there was just one problem. Other people on the base were not taking care of the Army's top Mauser. He was showing some signs that people weren't really taking good care of him, Knott told CNN. I found paint in his fur a couple of times, and then people took a pair of clippers and shaved his back. Soldiers aren't really allowed to have pets, but many form friendships with animals overseas. Knott decided he would help the kitty out. After racking his brain about what he could do to help, he decided to keep Kashka in his office. Nobody really knew Kashka was his full-time pet. Having Kashka helped Knott get through his days. He had no idea how important the cat was to him, however, until an awful, tragic day in December of 2011. A suicide bomber killed Knott's 2 friends and comrades. When Knott heard the news, he excused himself to go back to his office where he could cry. Kashka was there to soothe him, crawling into his lap for comfort. I'd lost hope in myself. I'd lost faith, Knott said. And all of a sudden, this cat comes over and just reminds me that, hey, you're you. Kashka's gentle ministrations helped bring him back to his situation. Since Knott was still in a war zone, he had to remain calm and in control despite his grief. As his deployment came to an end, Knott found himself thinking more and more about what would happen to Kashka. He knew the cat couldn't survive without him. If Kashka was going to survive for much longer, he would need to bring the cat to the US. He pulled me out of one of my darkest times, so I had to pull him out of one of his darkest places, Knott explained. Knott tried to get Kashka on an American convoy, but that didn't work out. Then he started to worry that he might not be able to find a way to get the cat home. Finally, an Afghan interpreter who worked with the army said he would take the cat to Kabul, and once there, put the cat on an airplane to America. It was a brave thing for him to do, since the Taliban would kill him if they found out that the interpreter was working with the Americans. Knott knew it was risky, but he had to try. He took a deep breath, said goodbye to the cat, and sent him with the interpreter to Kabul. Knott soon received word that the two had made it safely to Kabul. Then the second part of Knott's plan started to take shape. Knott's parents paid for the cat to fly across the world. First, he had to go to Islamabad, Pakistan. Then he had a layover and boarded a flight to New York. From New York, it was on to Portland, Oregon. Knott's parents were waiting eagerly for Kashka's arrival. Kashka made it to Oregon safe and sound. He stayed with Knott's parents while the family waited for Knott's deployment to end. When Knott arrived home, he was so pumped to see his cat. And when the cat saw his old friend, he was excited too. Now, at 8 years old, Kashka is still a member of the family. He loves being with Knott, and they even take adventures. Knott made a Facebook page for Kashka, and he enjoys sharing their outdoors experiences with their friends and fans. Kashka and Knott survived a terrible situation together, but they came out on the other side. Kashka is yet another example of how a pet can change a person's entire life just on instinct. Knott, in turn, changed Kashka's life forever, helping him to live a new and exciting life.
If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.